With winter on the way and the year coming to a close, interview season is fast approaching. Fortunately for you, I was recently introduced to a free resource that I wish I knew about when I was preparing for my medical school interview. Hey friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Manny, short for Emmanuel, and I'm a second year medical student at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. If you haven't already, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We're fast approaching the 500 subscriber mark. Anyways, when I first started this channel, the purpose was not to become the next Canadian Dr. Mike. Although, I wouldn't complain. I mean, the man's a legend. The real purpose of this channel is to provide you with key information regarding the medical school application process and journey, as well as some insight as to what medical school may hold. A few weeks ago, I was approached by a member of the Videoath team, which comprises of a group of dedicated physicians, residents, and medical students whose purpose and goal is to provide aspiring medical students with key resources. Sound familiar? Well, to me it sounded familiar because that's essentially the vision and purpose of my channel and my Instagram page. So, I decided to partner up with them, and I wanted to share this amazing resource that you have to look into. Mind you, this doesn't only apply to medical students. In fact, it applies to anyone who is pursuing a degree in healthcare that might have an interview coming up, or even a CASPer test, because as you may or may not know, the more recent iteration of the CASPer test has a video-based section. So let's actually get into it. With a simple Google search, we type in Videoath, you can easily find the website. If we scroll down on the main page, we can get an idea of what this resource and website is all about. Oh, and did I mention a really key point? This resource is completely free. The Videoath team does not discriminate. They want to provide their resources to anyone and everyone. I mean, yes, there are paid services if you feel like you need that extra help. But what I want to focus on today is what everyone has access to. So if we scroll further down, we could see that with Videoath, you can record your responses to specific prompts. This allows you to simulate what interview day may look like, especially if it's in an online format, which has been the general trend since COVID. Afterwards, you can share your responses with friends, family, or even members of the Videoath community page, which allows for volunteer medical students to provide you with their own expert feedback. I mean, if you think about it, they literally went through this process a few years ago, if not just last year. So you're getting optimal feedback by these individuals. Feel free to watch some of the member success stories at the bottom of the page, but as you can see by the school that they're affiliated with, these are students that are currently attending some very extremely competitive medical schools in Ontario, and the program has only gotten bigger since then. So if we scroll back up and go to the resources tab, we can click on the interview prep option, which is what I wanted to focus on today. This page offers a list of high-yield prompts that you can use and practice to. Now, this list is updated on a yearly basis. Remember, it's by medical students, residents, physicians, so you know that it's very much up to date. And what they do is that they maintain all the high-yield prompts. They remove the low-yield stuff, so the stuff that are not as relevant anymore, and keep the stuff that are very much relevant. And, on occasion, they'll add new stuff if they feel like they're very relevant to the medical school interview process. But what I want to stress is that these are resources that are provided and regularly updated by healthcare professionals or healthcare students. So you know that they're trustworthy and up to date. So by signing up and making a free account, your account will keep track of all the scenarios and prompts that you may complete, and it'll take feedback into consideration. What I mean by this is, say for example that the experts that are grading your responses are giving you really high scores in every single category except for the self-reflection or personal type questions where you don't score as high. Well, that's going to be visible to you on your dashboard. And knowing that you're struggling in this category can allow you to tailor your practice and hone in on those specific types of questions and prompts so that you can improve them so you could be fully prepared for interview day. So, if we look at the first prompt, which comes from the White Coat Black Art podcast, we can see that this falls under the healthcare issues category. By clicking on the link, which is completely optional by the way, you can get some extra content or key background information on the topic. Although you are not expected to know the ins and outs of healthcare before starting medical school, it is useful to have a baseline understanding of what the most pressing issues are in healthcare. By clicking on the try prompt button, I can literally record myself answering this question in real time. And there's also a 5-minute time limit.
So this is a great question, but I think the most difficult part about being a physician is that
after recording, I can put in my contact information and my response gets directly sent to my email, after which I could share the link that's given to me by email to my friends, family, or in the community page like I told you before, and that way I could get feedback. And I can be provided a score on 10, for example, based on what the individual who marked me thought I deserved in that specific prompt. So all the recordings that I complete and my feedback that I am given can be found on my dashboard in the account I created, which is why I think it's very useful for you to create your own free account. But we could go over all of that in another video. That being said, I wanted to keep this nice and short, so we have reached the end of the video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Most importantly, I hope that I convinced you to at least take a look at this amazing resource. Like I said, if I had access to this when I was preparing for my interview, I'd definitely use it. I'd be on top of this resource and honestly try to complete as much as I can and get expert feedback as well, because I think that's the best way to learn. It's by getting feedback from individuals who have literally done what you had to do and are literally in the place you want to be, right? And in this case, for me going into medical school, those are current medical students, residents, physicians, because they've all gone through the process and they have a better understanding of what a proper answer should look like. Remember, the point of this channel is to make your journey to medical school or any healthcare profession an easier one. So I really hope you do use this resource and benefit from it. Of course, there's much more to cover about Videoath, and I'd like to do that in the next video or two. So that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.